Welcome to Scuba Stanley, Sailing and Adventures. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Roatan, Honduras. Dive site Mary's Place, September 2nd, 2019. Here's where Mary's Place is relative to the island of Roatan. The top of the reef at Mary's Place ranges in depth from about 20 to about 65 feet. Mary's Place features walls that plunge deep into the abyss. One of the most popular things at Mary's Place is a horseshoe-shaped crevice for divers to swim through. We'll start our swim through at a depth of about 90 feet and we'll exit at about 60 feet. As we enter the water and begin our descent down to 90 feet to begin the swim through, you can see we have another bright sunny day. The visibility here is not incredible. It was quite windy, so things were a little stirred up. This is an afternoon dive. I'm not a big fan of follow the leader diving, but when there's something like this to swim through, I often do participate. However, I'm usually the last one in the water. I don't swim really fast, and I have quite a large camera setup that I take along with me. There are a couple advantages to being last. One is that you don't have people running into you. The other is that you can take your time and go as slowly as you'd like. However, the disadvantage is that things are usually quite stirred up by the time you come along. Look at that view. I love looking up at the sunlight, especially from one of these deep crevices. It's almost like an amusement ride. You feel compelled to participate. I wouldn't mind being first. I think the view would be spectacular to see the crevice without all of the silt being stirred up, but I would feel bad for the other divers behind me because of my slow pace. I think it'd be wonderful to come back and visit a place like this with my own boat and just one dive buddy, maybe two. Here you can see the bend in the horseshoe in front of us where there's an opening into the abyss. The line of divers is really slowing down here as people try to make the bend. I liken this to queuing in the middle of the ride. Not particularly fun. But again, a great view. Love diving on a sunny day. I couldn't decide whether or not to include this entire swim through in the video for quite some time. I went back and forth and decided I would include the whole thing, although some of it's a little slow moving. It is quite beautiful and interesting in my opinion. Here you see we're getting closer to the bend and the exit into the abyss of the horseshoe. Here we can better see the bend in the horseshoe and the exit into the abyss. The next section of the swim through is quite a bit tighter, and as a result there's really a backup right here, slow down in the follow the leader dive line. So here we're waiting our turn. See the divers backing up. Here's another view into the abyss. What a beautiful color blue. The backup did take a few seconds here, so I decided to finally edit out a little bit of my wait Here we are entering the final section of the swim through, and as I mentioned, this part of the crevice is quite a bit tighter. There's a view of someone's fins. Again, a little bit of a backup as we go into the final part of the swim through. I decided to try and go a little deeper and try to get a view underneath the divers. Didn't work out as planned. And then there's always someone in the follow the leader line that decides they're going to slow down and take a look at things, which that's fine, as long as they leave room for other folks to get underneath them. See, the walls are getting a little tighter here, and there are a couple overhead things that we could go under or go over. You can see the exit in front of us opening up. The walls on the crevice in this section seem pretty barren. I wonder if that's from divers making contact as they swim through. I decided to dive a little bit deeper here and practice my frog kicking. Here you can see the dive master snapping a couple pictures as folks come out the other side. Here we are exiting into the abyss. I do enjoy a good crevice swim. Here's a green eel I found on top of the reef. He was ready for his close-up. When they open their mouths, it really isn't anything aggressive, it's just them breathing. Here's a peacock flounder I found in the sand. Look at those eyes. What an interesting fish. Tried to get a couple different views of him here. I don't know how well you can see his eyes. He keeps an eye on me no matter where I go. Try to get a little closer. Look at those colors. Here's a close-up of the eyes. See his mouth there is kind of sideways on his body. What an interesting looking creature. On a jellyfish. They don't feel good, but they are beautiful. There was some towering coral on top of the reef. Again, the visibility was not spectacular. but I think that was largely due to the wind picking up in the afternoon. By the time we reboarded the boat, it was swinging quite a bit on the mooring. For those that didn't time it correctly, they would get quite a ride on the trapeze bar. Here we can see a little spotted eel. He didn't want to come out very far. That's about as much of a view as I could get of him. Quite a bit smaller than the green moray eel. A little harder to find. Thanks for watching.